welcome to the Priggya Arora Show, where we discuss law, innovation, and entrepreneurship with people who have been there and done that. My name is Priggya Arora, founder of PA Legal, an intellectual property law firm in India, and our guest for today is Mr. Aman Sinha. I think he is the most active person in networking, and I always love meeting him, and therefore the topic for today's discussion is networking in the field of intellectual property. Hi Aman, welcome on the show.
Hi Priggya, thank you for having me on the very famous Priggya Arora Show. I feel privileged to be a part of this show. Finally, we have been able to connect and have this interaction. So thank you for calling me, and thank you everyone who is listening in. I hope that it is a enjoyable as well as useful session for all of you.
Yeah. Thank you, Aman. So, Aman, we'll start with your story and how did you become the person you are today?
Oh, yeah. So what aspect of my story are you most interested in, Priggya? In you and the viewers.
So I think they're most interested in how did you move your career from engineering to IP and what was the thought process behind it? You're from my college, so you're
Yes.
free to speak about IIT Kharagpur as well. Like, how was the journey there?
So, for me, so even while I was doing engineering, so I was always interested in simulations on policy. I used to do a lot of Model United Nations. I took part in a lot of youth parliaments. I organized them. So I was always having this interest and inclination towards law and policy. So after engineering, once it was clear that I don't want to stick to the same path, I want to do something different, something exciting. So this is where I thought, oh, wonderful. Intellectual property. So yeah, creations, innovation, technology. Yeah, so somewhat of a continuation from engineering, and of course, a lot of law and policy things that I actually enjoy doing. So yeah, what can there be a better possibility? What a better option can be there than the Rajiv Gandhi School of Intellectual Property Law at IIT Kharagpur? You have the big brand, you have the choice of course, and the wonderful atmosphere of Kharagpur. What else can one ask for? How can someone say no to that? See, even a couple of years before me, you also could not say no to that.
Yeah, I also could not. The moment I got admission, I was like, okay, I'm going here. I don't know. I just did not think anything. When it's Kharagpur people, they generally don't think anything.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we should go, and probably because the theme of today's session is about networking, so we can discuss about how Kharagpur helped us, or like how generally colleges networking starts with school or colleges itself. It's not ideal to start networking while you are in the industry. You probably we are doing networking at that time unknowingly, but we never know that those kind of connections can come to our help later on in life. So do you think, like, how did your course help, because the course was also dedicated to IP, so how did it help to generate a IP network, people in this industry around you? How did you share interest with them? Can you speak something about networking part of it?
Yeah. So, see, in law and intellectual property in general, so it is quintessential to have a strong network of people that you are connected to. So now, how does this networking start at the stage when you are a student? So right from the time of after my first semester, I did an internship. So from then itself, I saw that. So I was interning then with with an IP consultancy firm in Mohali near Chandigarh. So that is where I saw that why will a firm organize a conference of sorts for all the startups and all connected industries for the region? almost like a philanthropy initiative, you one would think, but the main point of that was to network with the professionals around the region. So that is when it hit me that no, see, it is very important to stay connected with people, and you get to learn from them, and sometimes you will be of use to them. So it is a mutually beneficial relationship that you will have. So that is something about networking that one must realize. It is not that you are just building your reach, you are going to gain something. And if you want to gain something, you have to give something. It's not, you are not going to have gulab jamun and rasgulla in both of your hands.
Very interesting. So, Aman, as you said, it was the first year and you got an opportunity to be at an event where startups were involved. As a student, can you tell us some platforms like people where people can connect as students and figure out their vibe or their tribe?
So we are looking for professional networking. So then naturally the first choice for professional networking comes to LinkedIn. Now how do you network on LinkedIn? That is also something important. It's not that you just send 1000 connection requests to people and that is how you will network with them. No. You, if you are trying to connect with someone, there is a mutual interest. If you are at the stage of a student, then you say that you are an IP law student, you are an enthusiast, and given that you work on this domain, I thought I would want to connect with you. And so this is one way of communicating with them. Another way is like how even still currently how I network with academics or those who are in the policy domain. I would tell them that, see, I read this paper of yours, and there are some things that I would want to discuss about it. So then, in this way, it is not just you are not just touching base with them, but actually developing a relationship with that person. So that is very important. So one platform is LinkedIn, but surprisingly, even on the other platforms like on a Twitter, which you would not generally associate with as a medium to network or interact with people, more of a sharing your opinions platform. But from these platforms also you develop your contacts, you develop your association, you see if it is a like-minded person, on what areas do we connect. So LinkedIn, Twitter, all your social world, uh, take advantage of that. Now during the pandemic, we also had this boom of an app called Clubhouse. So
Yeah.
there I interacted with so many people, and it was not just a keyboard warrior interaction, it was actually you were talking to people. So that really helped a lot.
Yeah, I know we also reconnected on Clubhouse. Like you were
Yes.
like, yeah, let's meet on Clubhouse. So are you still associated with Clubhouse? No.
I think so. Every app has a time when they progress, and then there is a time when they fade out. So I
Yeah.
think Clubhouse has faded out, but now the groups or the bonds that I had made through the app, that has still continued. Like one of the lawyer groups that I was in contact with, the Chambers 32 group started by the senior advocate Sanjay Hegde ji. So we are all still connected. We even met informally for a gathering.
Ah.
So some of the people of the group became advocate on record recently. So they again met with each other. So in this way, there is always a link that so once that link is established, the platform is not important then.
Correct,
The
absolutely.
person is important.
So, Raman, we just spoke about, how to reach out to people. Like while we are reaching out to people or connecting with them, as small as saying a hi or a hello, or sending a request on LinkedIn. We spoke about that there has to be something personalized. Like either you have read his paper or you want to say that we are in the same industry, so let's connect. Things like that. So this is the initial just tip of the iceberg. I'll say we have just made a contact. Now, what is the next step? How do you nurture your relationships or take the relationship forward? Like, what could be those ways of nurturing relationships?
Yeah. So one aspect is that one is how you developed an interest in that person. Then how do you continue that interest? Because
Correct.
now when you are connected with that person, you also see what are they doing, what are their current interests. So you try to interact with them, and also if you are doing something that may be of that you really think is of interest to them and they should be aware of it, then you reach out to them, express. Like a lot of times you sometimes people feel like, why aren't people reaching out to me? People won't reach out to you if you are not reaching out to anyone else. So if if you don't like say, if the Priggya Arora show is not like, if you don't post it on LinkedIn, then people are not going to say, no, we wanted to see that, but we didn't know it. So
Yeah.
you have to show it out. So that is also very important.
Absolutely. I think showing up is so first step is knowing about the things, and then the next step is showing it. Like you rightly said, if I don't post it on LinkedIn or Instagram or anywhere, nobody knows about it. Nobody knows who Priggya Arora is. They'll not go to YouTube to do some random show, random search about the person named Priggya. So that's why I think showing up is like, it's the real thing, and people do not understand sometimes. Like when I converse with people, they'll say we do good work, and because we do good work, people will come to us. It's like, if you do good work and you do not show it, like you do not show your good work, nobody is going to come to you. They'll not get an click in the brain that okay, there is some girl named Prigya who does good work and you should reach out to her.
Yeah. In fact, I'll just give one more example. So one is this, that you are actively networking with particular persons. Now, then the other form of networking comes in when you are going in for different sort of events, like especially law students, IP enthusiasts. All of them should keep going to whatever events are happening in their region. Now again, it this sometimes gets affected by which part of the country or which part of the world you are in, but every you will get some opportunity sometime. So whenever you get that, make use of it. Like again, because we are also centric to a lot of the current students, so like I'd recall when I think I completed my first year. After that, I recall that there was a book launch. Right, it was a so the book launch was on the future of of the legal profession. So now in that event, so that was not centric to IP, but so I went for that event. So now in that event, I met 2 3 people who actually also worked on the aspect of intellectual property and technology law and policy issues. So once you have that a common network point, then unexpectedly also you meet new people and can share your interests and specializations. And a lot of points, even if like you feel that if you are an IP person, that oh, there is no IP person here, what's the use? For others, then you are an important person. People who want to learn and share your experiences with those people. So again, it's like not just you are specific networking, but also it can be random networking as well.
Absolutely. And this is so true. Like events like exhibitions, book launches, events related to arts, events related to startups, the startup shows, and things like that. I think these are so important, because if you go to those events, hardly you find people from IP there. And if people from IP are not there, then you get a lot of value, and you can explain to them that why IP is probably important to them. And I don't know. I think the agenda is mind is not to, just go everywhere and make clients. It's sometimes just go and show, like you said, show up. If you show up, people may automatically want to come and work with you, because sometimes the vibe matches, sometimes the mindset matches, sometimes they need that kind of people and they are not able to find one. So anything can happen. But as you rightly said, showing up is really, really, really important.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Aman, we spoke about like different stages of networking, but we didn't speak about why networking. Like, why networking? So, do you have any take on why it is important or why people should do it? If we have some kind of introvert people, like they don't want to show up, so what is the mindset they can use in that scenario?
So, see, uh, there are two ways in which people can be termed as introvert. I wouldn't like to say that someone is an introvert. Like, it's like maybe you consider yourself as one. So there are two ways. One is that you don't get the opportunities to express out, and the other one is generally that you feel that you are thinking too much about it, that what would the other person think. So these are the two things that generally are a discouragement from interacting or expressing or showing up, as we have
Yeah.
rightly termed it. So one is, so it is possible that when you go for an event for the first time, you are just seeing those people, you are just listening to them. But once you have like a smaller group, now if you are part of that, then somehow you will automatically, you will feel that requirement that no, I should also speak out. It's something that is going to happen automatically. You will not, like all of us as humans, we are, it is like always we do have the fear of missing out.
Yeah.
The FOMO is always there. Like it's something inherent that is there in all humans. No one actively wants to miss out on everything. So naturally, you will in that habitat, you will and once you are in that habitat 2 3 times, then automatically you will feel a level of comfort. So like again, that experience is also important. I remember, I think when we were taught jurisprudence, so we in so it was said that the life, so this is said by, I think, Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes of the US, that the life of law is not logic, it is logic plus experience. So once you have the experience and the skills, then you will be able to make use of the opportunities.
Very,
So
very.
pardon.
I said very rightly said.
Yeah.
I have never thought networking in this sense, but now that I look back, like it's been a while that I am into networking and things like that. So when I look back, I know the kind of kid I was in college. I used to sit in the corner seat, not you have seen me in college, like not speaking to anyone, like just leave me alone kind of a person. And now you'll see me everywhere, Prigya. How is this happening? So it is like small baby steps. And my mindset of starting with it was, okay, I am an introvert person, I know that I can remain introvert forever in my life, but for business probably it's kind of a work that I am supposed to do.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, not enjoy it. Sometimes it's work, and then if you do regularly, you will slowly start enjoying it, and you'll slowly think it is the part of my life. Now I cannot imagine going back to that space. That okay, let me sit in the corner and I don't want to speak to anyone. Now, if you leave me in a networking event, I'll probably speak to all 100 people there.
Yeah, it won't be, it will be like, so one is fear of missing out, and even bigger is the fear of missing out on new business opportunities. And I'll add a third one to that, the fear of missing out on new connection opportunities. So
Correct.
like if you get the chance to develop a relationship with a person, do take that. And you never know like what interactions you are having like 5 years ago, they might be playing a part in what you become in the future.
Correct.
Like see, if a person like in case you are facing any issue, if you don't reach out to people to help you, your issue is not going to get solved. You
Absolutely.
have probably utilized the most of your brain trying to get around it. So that is when you need, that is why like a lot of times it's said that yeah, we need to bring on an external counsel. And that is how like a lot of corporates are also now emphasizing on diversity. So
Correct.
that is why like so like now it's the times that you can find the problems in the box are gone. You
Yeah.
most of the time need that out of the box solution, and out of the box solution comes from a diverse, not just your own background, but interacting with a diverse set of people.
Absolutely. And it is important, see, because our age is like that, like the era in which we are living in, it is full of information, full of growth, full of knowledge, full of wisdom. Every other person is now aware, and because of that, I think if we look back 100 years ago, people did not need so diversified minds because the job processes were straightforward. Now,
Hmm.
because we have variety of job processes, variety of things, we need specialization in every field. In
Yes.
IP also, there are hundreds of specialization. If we call drafting, prosecution, litigation, drawings, I can say 100 specialization in patents itself. So because of that, we need to meet diverse kind of people, diverse kind of minds for everything, be it your personal life, be it your professional life, sometimes for managing finances, sometimes for managing emotions. I think for everything we need somebody.
Yeah.
So it is a very right approach that we need to find diversified people
Yeah.
there. And I in my career have found a lot of good mentors from
Hmm.
networking, like by reaching out to people in networking events on LinkedIn, anywhere. And they have helped me, actually guided me how to do stuff. So do you think like mentorship is also another kind of thing that we can look at through networking?
Yes, like that is very like mentoring people is also very important. Like, see, ultimately, you can't do everything by yourself,
Yeah.
especially like if you are say involved in any policy or league or like drafting legal opinions and all, to have an interaction with a diverse set of people is quintessential. And then you can't like be dependent on just one set of people. You do have to nurture people as well, because if someone is spending that effort on you, then like of course you will be trying to help them, but then again you also need that next layer. You need to be passing on the skills and experiences to the next generation, to the next set of professionals, to the next set of students, so that they can also develop. And like especially like because I am also involved in a lot of policy level interactions. So in this space, like sometimes you need to have those people that you can trust, that yeah, you can give an opinion on this. Then a lot of times you need support of other people. Like if a person knows that okay, I know Prigya, if she is saying something, like even if I am not able to understand it 100%, but I know generally that what she's saying would be backed by a solid reasoning and a good amount of research and a lot of effort spent on it. So I would naturally want to support that. So so in that sense, like mentoring is also because like say Prigya mentored me, if I say, when she was my senior. So then this thing, this association carries on forward also 5 years, 6 years down the line as well. So that is why mentoring is very important, and it is also important to have the right mentor.
Yeah.
Because if you find the right mentor, they can guide you to the right opportunities. They can uplift you. So in that sense, mentoring is important, and it is also important to mentor youngsters so that they also get the as again the life of law is logic plus experience. So that the logic or the skills they can develop, but that needs to be supplemented with some experience.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now I understand why mentoring people is important and why mentorship is also important. Like we also need mentors for everything, and people, uh, like mentoring them is also important because that also brings growth to us. For
Yes.
example, if Aman, you ask me something, I'll probably do some research and get back to you. So that is a growth opportunity for me as well. Or I know that best person in the industry to need, like, to find contacts is you. If I need somebody's contact, I'll ask Aman, do you know this person, can you connect him to me, or can you connect me with him? And it would be like you also know that you are so important in that area. So I think it's a growth opportunity for all people.
Yeah. I'll just give a small example just to supplement it. Like, suppose if there is like a very, say, a senior person in the IP
Mm.
field. Now, consider they are asked to give an opinion on, say, if some policy is being made for how to protect intellectual property in the metaverse. Now, see, someone who is much younger, much more uh, inclined to the tech world. So naturally, those people will need to have some people who are more connected to that sphere. So
Correct.
now it's probably that person is not going to be able to have an influence while developing a policy for IP protection in the metaverse. But then, if you are connected to the right people, and again, the senior person, if they are also mentoring the right person, if they are mentoring them properly, then they will be getting in the good advice that can help. So, and if they get good advice and they are able to formulate a good policy or a good point, then you have the benefits. So it will be having the trickle down effect as well.
Absolutely.
And again, another aspect is important. Again, I'll go back to one of my internships again. So, so I was asked to make a brief on one matter. So this was a litigation that was happening. So I made the brief. I submitted it to the council. And, like around 1 week later, uh, he just happened to come to one small interns room, which was crammed up with a lot of people, like all top tier law firms, because their policy is that sometimes he cannot say no to people. That is also a form of networking. so so then he came up and just he had a piece of paper and he was like, Aman, I just wanted to give this to you. You remember that research I asked you to give? So I just got the order in favor of our client. So it was not just that like he mentored, gave guidance, what I did something, and he just said that you were also a part of this.
Yeah.
For for me at that stage, it was like, okay, that much interest in a person much lower down the food chain, if at all an intern exists in the food chain. So that really did motivate me that, yeah, if when I grow up, I also want to be like that person.
Yeah, absolutely. Aman, why I was stuck for a moment was because you made me remember a similar kind of incident. Like in my internship, I worked on an office action response. It was the first response that I ever drafted, end to end, like from starting to beginning. And after that response, the patent got granted without any hearing. So my mentor called me and he was so happy. He said, Prigya, you worked on this case and this has happened and it got granted. He the examiner has accepted your arguments, and because of it this has happened. He was and I said, I was like, I was not a person who used to speak this much, so I was like, thank you sir, thank you sir, thank you sir, and like disconnected the call. But I could see like he was more happy than I was. He was like, "Oh my God, this girl has done something great." And now, when the similar kind of incidents happens with my interns, I make sure that I call up and tell them that, because you worked on this case, this happened, and thank you so much. Thank them, appreciate them, and then they also feel happy. So I think it's kind of like a set of food chain that flows.
So if any one of us was a management guru, we would say that this is adoption of best practices.
Yeah. So now, Aman, we'll come to your life, and so that people come to know little bit about you and your personality. So we'll do a quick rapid fire round. This is our 3 to 1 rapid fire round. 3 questions, and please answer this very quickly. So
Yeah.
3 things you are grateful for.
Three things I'm grateful for. One is education, experience, uh, and openness.
Wow, awesome. 2 traits that you think are useful for a professional career.
Um, Effort and analysis.
Wow, awesome. And one aspiration you have for the future.
One aspiration that I have for the future is to be making a positive change for the development of society.
Awesome. I think we really, really, really need that.
Oh, I am sure all of us are contributing to the same.
Yeah.
Because, in fact, I think on this note, I'll just like to add that, like, recently, a lot of us, we also developed this thing. Uh, we also got some positive mentorship when so we you and I both, we cleared the patent agent exam recently, and just a couple of days back it was such a positive note to see that the Controller General of Patents wrote to all the ones who have qualified that you are like he added some importance in that, like most of the times, like we are not so like, okay, we cleared the exam, we were supposed to do it given that we work in this domain, but then that message that you are not just patent agents, you are IP warriors who have to contribute to the development of our nation,
Yeah.
it adds such a lift.
Yeah.
Like, so this is so mentorship, mentorship or helping people from at the when you are at the top level, even some it might be such a small effort, but it has such a deep impact. With one small initiative, you are able to reach out to 1,000 plus people.
Correct, absolutely. And sometimes you are right, like sometimes emails like this, they lift us up. Even when we receive emails from director of IIT Kharagpur, it's such, okay, our alumni is so important for our college. But then,
Yeah.
yeah, it lifts us up for that moment. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we are doing something for the nation, dedicated to the service of
Service
the
of the
nation.
like we see, after passing through that road for 3 years, some osmosis has to happen. You do absorb some of it in you,
At least we
knowingly
not
or
forget these
unknowingly.
lines. Like these lines will stay in our mind, whatever we
Yeah.
do. So, Aman, any final thoughts before we conclude the podcast to our audience in general?
So the main thing that I would like to say is that please do continue watching this initiative. Like, this is a very one of the kind initiative which is like almost single-handedly driven by Priggya alone, and it is the continuity with which it has been maintained. It is quite remarkable, and I would also personally hope that it is maintained. And please do keep watching. Not just this initiative, but others also, which are trying to spread knowledge.
Thank you so much, Aman. And I'll ask this to you that you should keep coming back on our podcast so that, we can spread this awareness together.
Yes, sure. And like, it is very difficult to say no to you.
And just to clarify, it's not me alone, it's my team. So I want to give credit to each and everyone, the people behind this show who help me every week to make this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aman.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Prigya. Thank you, the team of Prigya and PA Legal. All of you are not are also contributing to the development of the IP landscape in India. Thank you, everyone, for your contribution. Not just Prigya.
Thank you, Aman. Thank you, Aman, for giving credits to everybody. And thank you so much for your willingness to share and for your time. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hey there, thank you for attending today's session. If you enjoyed today's session, do follow our channel and consider sharing it with a friend. My name is Priggya Arora, daughter of inspiring parents, alumni of IIT Kharagpur, engineer turned lawyer and entrepreneur, and now founder of PA Legal, where we help creators and innovators protect their intellectual property. Thank you.